Right. Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a video like this, but in this video, I'm going to reflect on 2024 real quick, and then I'll give you some tips on for those of you who are not profitable yet in 2025, what you should achieve or what you should aim for next year, in my opinion. So let's get right into it. My 2024, it wasn't my best year. It was a good year in terms of trading. We did close to 56R. I'll put in a screenshot right now. But basically, we performed relatively well. We only had one losing month this year. December ended up being a really good month too. The year was pretty well, but I did lose a lot of funding, unfortunately, as some of you may know. It all started back in 2022 when I lost max allocation with my Forex funds, which was 600K at the time. Then I started diversifying by, going for funded engineer, the funded trader, um, and True Forex funds. And unfortunately, they all went down. So I lost quite a bit of funding there. Um, I I kind of learned my lessons. Now I'm only going to stick with the reputable firms such as FTMO. I also bought 400K in challenges recently with Alpha Capital and the Fivers. So we're going to go and do those now. In terms of income, it has lowered a little bit, of course, because I went from managing seven figures to now managing close to around 600K, which is still not bad, and I have no reason to complain really, but it did take a hit in my income. So that is something that I'm going to be working towards increasing next year, scaling up my income again. And then in terms of trading, now I really started coaching a lot this year. I've seen a lot of things, and the number one thing that I see, which is leading traders into the vicious cycle or the SMC trap, is consistency. I'm not just talking about consistency in trading results, I'm talking about consistency in everything. Consistency in terms of, are you able to stick to your strategy? But also, are you even able to get up at the same time every day? Are you able to brush your teeth every day? Stuff like that. If you have no consistency outside of your trading life whatsoever, it's going to be insanely hard to have consistency within trading. So for next year, I've set up a couple of guidelines basically that I think you should follow if you want to see at least a little bit more consistency in your trading results. This is not going to be a strategy video. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. Um, just from a psychological standpoint, these are a couple of things that I would mention to people in order to improve consistency. So one main thing that I'm seeing is a lot of traders understand technical analysis, and they either one understand it way too much. They know every little thing about price action. They analyze every little move, change a character, inducement, whatever the fuck. They analyze every little thing, leading them to an information overload, which is making it incredibly hard to consistently make decisions. And then the second thing is doubting your own technical analysis. So you know what you're doing, you know how to analyze the charts, and then you end up not placing the order because you didn't feel good about it, or you felt like something might happen, basically letting your emotions get the upper hand. So that first little thing, overcomplicating it and understanding technical analysis a little too well, honestly comes from the whole SMC trap, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying SMC is a bad thing or whatever, because technically what we're doing is also considered SMC. I'm just saying the whole idea of having to analyze every little thing in the charts, to me, is just a whole marketing gimmick to sell something. Because in the history of profitable traders, if you go and look at Larry Williams or other profitable traders, like actual proven profitable traders, all of their strategies were relatively simple. They did not have these insanely difficult and complex SMC concepts that we're all used to nowadays. So being stuck in the SMC cycle is one of the things that I think you should avoid. There's not always more to learn, at least not in the point of technical analysis. In fact, the more you learn, the more you're going to get reset back to the basics. How many times have you tested, then changed something because it didn't work, tested, changed it again, and went on in that cycle for a long time? At the end of the journey, at the end of the road, you're going to have to go all the way back to zero, because you now have so much information from 50,000 different YouTube videos that you don't really know what to do with it. Now, that information overload leads to basically an excess, and you don't really know what to do with it, making it really hard to make decisions. Now, what you'll see maybe too is when you are starting out, you are most likely starting out with something extremely simple. You are most likely trading a really simple 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 support and resistance strategy, and you are most likely doing a lot better in your first couple of months of trading than you are now in your however many years you've put into it. The reason for that is because when you're just starting out, you're only trading with what you know, and what you know is limited information. Now, the idea is that people think the more you know, the better your trades are going to get, which I think is completely false. At the end of the day, trading is nothing more than understanding that it's probabilities and having an edge that plays out and letting the probabilities play out in the long run. And then that edge will eventually make profit. But it's not like you can analyze the markets to a point where you can predict every single trade correctly. So that's one thing I think a lot of traders are struggling with. And the second thing, like I said, is the fear of actually taking your trades. So a lot of traders will basically analyze their trades and stay out due to emotion, due to feeling like there's going to happen something, maybe the price will reverse because on the weekly time frame we're bearish, but on the 4-hour we're bullish, stuff like that. The more confluences you have, harder it's going to be to make a decision. I would much rather stick to one time frame, have a 40% win rate with a 1-to-3, and then be able to take 100 trades in a year, than have a 70% win rate, also with the 1-to-3, but only have to take 10 or 15 trades in a year. But that's the thing too, understanding that win rate is not as important as you may think. You need it, of course, you need a positive win rate. Once you do have that positive win rate, it's all about executing the edge. Now, a lot of traders will go and try to get that to 100%. There's no such thing as a 100% win rate. And, being okay with that is a big part of being a trader. Being okay with not having the highest win rate out there. Like I said, let me give you another example. If you take 10 trades because you're so focused on getting that A+ setup, you now have a 70% win rate with the 1-to-3R, you're only up 30R for the year. Whereas if I take, for example, 500 trades with a 40% win rate, also with a 1-to-3R, I'm up way more because I just let my edge play out a lot quicker because I'm taking more trades. So over refining and always trying to get the higher win rate is not necessarily a good thing. Being okay with having a decent win rate is a huge part of being a trader, because that way you can focus on scaling capital rather than increasing your win rate. Those are the first two things that I'd like to mention. Now, the third thing should be quite obvious. It's journaling. And I'm talking about seriously journaling, because too many people are just not disciplined enough to be traders. And I'm just going to come out right out there and say it. Not everyone can be a trader, in my opinion. If you are not able to stick to something, then it's going to be really, really hard to consistently be a trader, because a large part of trading is having losing weeks, having losing months. And now journaling allows you to reflect on those losing months and see if you did anything wrong, or if your strategy was just not performing that month. So I journaled my entire 2024 for everyone to see. All throughout the year, I was updating it every week. So all of our members too basically saw me updating my journal every week, saw me building my journal this year. And now whenever I look back on losing streaks, I can just reflect on it and be like, all right, I took losses, but all of them were totally valid. They all met my rules. They all met my strategy. So it's okay what happened, And by journaling, at the end of the year, I can see that I still have a really solid equity curve, because those losing streaks they're part of trading, but they didn't ruin my profits. And that's the beauty of journaling. You're able to look back and you're able to see, all right, in my case, it was May. In May, I took a couple of losses. I was down a couple of R. Did I do something wrong, or was it just my strategy not playing out? And I noticed that in May, my strategy was just not playing out, which is totally fine. I stuck to it. I ended up closing out the rest of the months with profit. Another good example of that is the summer months being quite slow this year. A lot of people will be tempted to switch strategies after the summer months. And then let's say it's August or October or September, and now you're switching strategies. You're still testing your new strategy. In the meantime, you're missing out on a bunch of winning months that you would have gotten if you were to stick to that old strategy of yours. So that's something, journaling, make sure to look back on the losing months, and also being okay with the fact that you're not going to have the best win rate when you're starting out with a strategy. I've been trading my strategy for a number of years now, and I'm still improving slowly. And so you shouldn't expect to, hop into a new strategy and have the best win rate out of everyone else within a week of testing. No, it's a process of testing, seeing if you did something wrong, seeing if you can make a minor change here and there and try and keep it as mechanical as possible, and then move on to the next phase, which is just another tip that I'd like to give you. The fourth and final tip is to delete everything you see, maybe even including unsubscribing from my channel. I'm not saying you should do that, but if that's what helps, do it. And the main reason for that is everything nowadays is tailored to selling you something. It's tailored to, playing in on your emotions, playing in on FOMO. If you look at email marketing, how many times do you see, the reminder because something is expiring soon? Or if you look on Instagram, a special deal to join whatever signal group. I'm just naming some examples, but all of that stuff leads to FOMO, fear of missing out. And by deleting social media, or at least unfollowing all trading related pages, maybe even mine if that helps, you basically remove a lot of noise, making it a lot easier to focus on yourself. Because at the end of the day, as humans, we tend to compare ourselves to other traders, and there's really no point in doing that. And I could, for example, send you all of my profits from last year, and you would think I'm a trading god just because I'm leaving out my losses. Now, if I were to send you all of my losses, you would think I'm a good trader, but not as good as you thought at first. And that's the whole thing. People are easily manipulated nowadays into believing that people only take profit, and seeing others take profit, and then scrolling on Instagram, you just took a loss, you decide to go on Instagram, you see some guy in a Lamborghini who just made 20K whatsoever. Stuff like that is so poisonous to your journey as a trader. And please believe me when I say that my trading skyrocketed when I deleted everything. I left every single trading signal group that I was in back then. I unfollowed all of these traders on Instagram. I was only in one community. I was talking to one coach, and all I did was talk to that coach and train, basically, like practice. And that's when my trading really took off. And a lot of members of mine who have known for a long time now will remember this too, but I kind of disappeared for a while. I was only in a community talking to the coaches and joining the live sessions, and I left everything else. I didn't look at anyone else's trades. I didn't follow any traders on Instagram or YouTube, and I was just focused on me and my mentor, and that's it. And by doing that, you eliminate so much noise. It's actually unbelievable. So those are just a few things that I'd like to mention, some things that you could focus on going into 2025 to make 2025 a better year than 2024. One more thing that I'd like to mention too is that trading is, at the end of the day, just a difficult profession. It doesn't have to be difficult, but it's made difficult because a lot of people don't understand the work that it takes. it's relatively, like, it can be simple, but you're going to have to put in the work. And that means putting in hours in backtesting, reading up on trading psychology, understanding the mindset behind professional trading, and understanding that it's not a quick way to get rich. And once you understand those 4 things or 3 things, you're already putting yourself ahead of a lot of other traders that are just looking to get rich. So with that said, I'm not sure if this is going to be my last video of 2024. Probably not. I might record another one soon. But I do hope you all had a good 2024. I hope you guys have a really strong 2025. Please don't fall for any of the 90% win rate strategies. It's unbelievable how many of them are out there. There's no such thing. Don't fall for that. And stick to one strategy, stay consistent, and make sure that you have a really strong 2025. Take care, guys, and thank you guys all for watching this year. It's insane how I've grown from basically 0 subscribers to, I think we're at 8.6K right now. So I'm really thankful for that, and hopefully we can continue to grow next year. Anyways, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I hope to see you guys next year.